And welcome back to episode 21 of the Block Runner podcast. I'm your host, William, and as always, Iman is with me.
What's up?
And finally, we got the video going after quite a struggle there. But
Yeah, I'm already too drained for this, Will. Even though I didn't really do shit, but just watching you work that hard really drained me. Shit. Like fucking A. So
speaking of working hard, how about that Bitcoin price?
Dude, I don't know. It wants to do some work, but it looks like it's slumping. I mean, it's recovering.
Slumping? What are you talking about? Look at that,
$10,782. Dude, but look at that plus volume, man. Come on.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, that's
all. How do you explain that? How do you have such little volume, but there's like $1,000 recovery right there?
Well, this is obviously like, I don't know, an accumulation point. Could be. Usually, like accumulation zones have pretty low volume, don't they?
Well,
either that or it's like people are just. You gotta wait for this resistance to break through for like a big volume to pop through. I think. I don't know. What the fuck do I know? I don't know. What you're saying.
But check out this trend line though. It was pretty much correct. I mean, we had the support, we had the resistance, and pretty much right when it got to this area here, it did go up or went down. I mean.
But dude, you know how many times like these trend lines fucking fail me? Like
I know, but
2017, I drew so many of these lines.
The point is that this one failed though.
What do you mean?
Did it fail though?
Well, like because it broke out of your little resistance line, which by the way is like super poorly drawn.
Well, no, it's not actually poorly drawn. I only had up until here.
You're right. My bad. I'm just being a dick.
Yeah.
Well, my point is, it did break above it, and what are we seeing? We're seeing a run up. So it's consistent with technical analysis theorem, right?
Which a lot of people say it's.
I mean, everyone's looking at
bullshit. So
it's true. It's unproven. It's not like it's science or anything like that. But it's a tool people use. It's important to actually think about and talk about, especially if you're new to this crypto game, like whether or not technical analysis is something you want to brush up on to kind of like, incorporate into your crypto game.
You know what? I do think it's important to kind of understand the lingo.
Yeah, you definitely want to understand it at least.
Because I remember when I first jumped in. When I first jumped in, I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Everyone's talking about fucking Fibonacci and this and all this, Head and Shoulders, like fucking shampoo.
Bart?
Yeah, well, Bart, I don't know. I think crypto invented that one, the Bart pattern.
Really?
That's my guess. I don't know. I haven't seen
I doubt it.
I've never seen stonk investors talk about Barts, Because I don't think that shit happens in the stock market, The Bart, I think the reputation of the Bart is like, it's like market manipulation. Like, exchanges like BitMEX and shit are liquidating short and long positions. That's why it looks so fucking.
Yeah, let's kind of illustrate what Bart looks like here.
Yeah, I could totally see the Barts.
Like right here?
They're pretty obvious. Yeah, when you see like a large spike and you see the horizontal, which is supposed to symbolize like, Bart Simpson's spiky hair, right?
Yeah, and
then just a big drop off immediately after. Like there's a Bart, stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, this looks like a upside down Bart here.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a pretty big one, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a major Bart right there.
And I guess I would consider this a Bart as well, but it's kind of like messed up.
Yeah. But none of that's really that important.
Yeah, it's not. It's just to show like what we're talking about.
Yeah. But again, technical analysis, yeah, you're right. You drew your lines, so and it broke out.
Yeah, and really the point is let me go back to the daily chart here. The point is to show that if you map out these trend lines, you can make a decision on, let's say, July 29th. You bet that it's going to go up, and so you purchase BTC at that point. And then you just take your bets. Or you wait till it actually breaks up, and then you buy.
You're supposed to wait for a confirmation, right? If you're like a smart trader.
Yeah.
Like this is a pretty clear confirmation that we've broken out of a downtrend, right?
Right.
But who the fuck's to say, like, it's going to continue? Nobody really knows. Technical analysis doesn't predict the future. All it does is kind of like, in my opinion, the way I like to use it is just like, it gives you good entries and exits. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
If I see like a strong past resistance point, like, this shit's going to struggle to break through, obviously.
Right.
Then I'm going to sell. But
yeah,
I don't recommend people trying to
and
predict the future.
Again, it's
short term
more of
volatility.
more of like a psychological kind of assessment. Like, because think about it, it's sort of the conversation we were having with Oscar a couple of weeks ago, where we're trying to guess what the mass is going to do at a given point.
Yeah.
And so if we draw these trend lines, we're assuming others are drawing the same exact trend lines.
Exactly right. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
Because everyone's looking at this exact same chart.
Right.
And they're using the same tools.
That's right.
To gauge, like, where's everything headed. So it's kind of like, everyone sees this breakout, and then they're alerting everybody, like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
This is a reversal. So
Yeah.
what do people do? They start FOMOing in and shit, and then
Kind of
it's self-fulfilling. Like,
kind of run away.
Yeah, but again, because the market is so small, the market cap overall, it's so easily manipulated. Just one whale could just wipe out this positive trend like easily. And it's happened a million times in the past. That's why I say don't try and use TA in crypto, because it's not as reliable as, like if you're in stonks.
Yeah.
Stonks are a lot harder to manipulate than crypto.
For sure.
So, damn, dude, when you like zoom out like that, or zoom in, what would you call that? That's zooming out.
Yeah, zooming out.
Yeah, it looks so fucking nasty still. Look at that. We're still like in a parabolic fucking run up.
Yeah, it is.
It still doesn't. I don't know. You could be a bear and say like we haven't corrected yet, or it's just. I said on the podcast a few weeks ago, like I did the math in my head. If these like 100K plus predictions by the end of 2021 is to be true, then this has to occur. Like this, it's just gonna go parabolic.
Yeah.
Until like 2 years from now.
Yeah.
It has to, in order to maintain that like rate of growth to hit those targets.
No, I totally agree. And it's gonna do that for probably another 8 years or so.
So yeah, at this point, pretty much it's a coin flip, man. Like if you're like looking at Bitcoin right now, and you haven't decided whether or not to jump in.
Yeah, dude. Now
that's tough, man.
Jump in now, because that's better than later. I mean, that's it. So far, that's the trend. I mean, even if you bought at $20,000, if you wait long enough, you're still going to be in the positives pretty soon.
If it keeps going up,
dude, you don't think it's going to keep going up?
Shit. I don't know. Dude,
Come on.
I can't say anything with certainty. Like, what do you?
Dude, I'm certain it's going to go up.
Fucking crystal ball here, man. You're certain.
Certain.
And why don't you sell your house, dude? Fucking put it all in.
Because there's responsible betting and there's irresponsible betting.
Dude, but if I knew for sure something was going up in price, I would go all in.
Well, for sure it's going up, but how long is that going to take? Maybe another 2 years?
I don't know.
I mean, it could. It could take 2 years. Or it could take 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. No, you're optimistic,
I'm not optimistic. I'm very accurate.
Very accurate.
Yeah, dude.
Mean? Okay, you've been accurate.
Dude, I've been pretty on the spot. Okay. Right? You were hoping that it was going to go down to 7,000.
It still can.
It can, but what's the probability of that?
I think it's just as likely as it, going down or going up. We don't fucking know, man. Like,
see, but
because you just some meme lines, I'm telling you, this is what I'm saying. Everyone's. I don't know how many times I have to tell you this, dude. The market does the opposite of what everyone expects it to do. Like, the market always finds a way to crush your spirits and your soul. Like, from my experience.
Yeah, but
it does.
If you were betting today, like you put in $10,000 today.
Mm-hmm.
Would you bet that it's going to go up from today, or is it going to go down from today?
In what time span?
Just, I don't know. Give it 6 months, 10 months.
Me personally, I think there's a chance that we're not done correcting. I feel like, because again, a few weeks ago, dude, that parabolic run from 3K to 14K was ridiculous.
Yeah.
See, this is like there's two ways of thinking about it. Like I said, either that's a normal rate of growth to hit these semi long-term targets everybody's predicting, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's saying now. I don't think they were like a few weeks ago, but now I hear everybody talking about for sure Bitcoin's gonna be 100K plus.
Yeah.
By the end of 2021. That's kind of like what we kind of agreed on. Like, what are you looking up?
Here we go. No, keep talking. I wanted to show you this.
Okay. She already lost my train of thought, so GG. Let's see what this guy has to think about.
No, there was a post by Willy Woo
Is that his real name? Shit.
Where he talks about, he says, he posts this picture and he says, I've circled all the places where Bitcoin dropped 50% over the last 2 years.
All the places where Bitcoin dropped 50% over the last 2 years. Okay.
Yeah. And there was 0 circles because it hasn't dropped 50% over 2 years. There's been a couple of times it dropped 80%, but that's after the parabolic run up every 4 years. But other than that, it doesn't drop over 50%.
So what is he saying?
So so you say that
if it hits 7,000, that's 50% is what you're saying.
Correct.
And that's kind of like what I'm waiting for or hoping for in a way, so I can.
And so, but he's saying history's shown it hasn't happened.
Yeah, because it's usually like a 30% is like a sign of a correction.
Exactly.
Like in 2017 when I was
because you have to consider the mass psychology. They know the group knows that after it hits 30% drop, that's when you buy.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're all told.
Well, yeah. So, but if we're all told that, that's what happens.
It's backed by data and history.
Yeah,
like you can look it up. It's probably way more like. So he's saying it never hits 50%. If it goes below 50%, like we're in a bear market essentially.
Yeah.
We're gonna go down 80 90%.
Right. And we've already done that. We went from 20K to 3K.
It could happen again.
It could. It could
go from 14K all the way down to 2.
See, but it doesn't follow the
halvening.
It doesn't follow the halvening.
The halvening principle.
And the whole sequence and rhythm of Bitcoin.
So then we could talk about what's driving up this price thing. Because it does look more, to me, it looks organic.
Yeah.
Like this recent run up the last 3 or 4 days. Because there's actual news events happening that could possibly be influencing this buy pressure.
Yeah. It could be the futures trading. It was supposed to launch, but it didn't because it didn't get the CFTC approval.
Which one? Backed?
Backed.
Again? You got fucked?
It was no, not backed. It was LedgerX.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
What about LedgerX?
They were supposed to launch like this week or something like that, and the CFTC didn't give them approval. But if they ran out of that time, then automatically it would be approved. But the CFTC said no, don't launch. And so of course they're pissed and they're gonna sue those guys and all this stuff.
It's an exchange. LedgerX is having their own exchange, or how they?
Well, Ledger. So it has nothing to do with the hardware wallet. So it's just another futures trading platform.
Why is it called LedgerX then?
That's the name of it.
That's not. So it's not affiliated with the hardware company.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, why would they get sued? Like, isn't that?
No, you can have the same names.
No.
Yeah. So you can't have the exact same name, but you can have the same names. It's It's LedgerX. It's not
Nano LedgerX.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit. So see, I read the headline and I assumed it was the hardware company was launching these future contracts. Like what? What a fucking ridiculous branch out from like being a hardware company. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
But I guess now that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, also there's back, but yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with the price, right? I think the speculation is what the Fed,
that it's going to go up. I mean, as soon as you can do futures trading, I mean, the price of Bitcoin, people assume it's going to go up, and so the price goes up.
Who knows? That's what people thought.
It's one of those speculation dates, right?
Yeah, but look what happened whenever futures contracts came to like the CBOE or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, what happened?
The price dumped right after that shit went live. It gave like institutional traders a chance to short.
Yeah,
crypto market, and they probably made a killing. They're all like, as soon as we can trade futures on this shit, we're gonna short the hell out of it.
Huh.
Damn, did that work?
Well, what happened after that? Did it recover?
Well, we're in that phase now. Now we're talking about launching more futures. Like shit, after a parabolic run up, it's like fuck, let's short it again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These futures contracts might not be as good as people won't think. But I know why people want them.
Yeah.
In any kind of, it's just another exchange. It's another way to make money.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I was referring to as far as like, I was talking about the Fed rate decrease that happened.
Oh yeah, the interest rate federal cuts.
That's what people are speculating might be driving up the price of Bitcoin right now, and it's going to drive it up a lot more in the future. And then recently Trump retweeted, more China news.
Yeah.
Like we're back on. Like every other week he keeps like,
well, not only that,
back and forth.
Trump and the some treaty, they're backing out on some nuclear treaty arms race with Russia.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah. So, I mean, Trump's all over the place. He's gonna be out soon.
Yeah, like it seems like he's making friends, but apparently not. Like, you know, he's having meetings with Kim Jong Un or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, that's true. It looked like he was making friends, but
yeah, and apparently like last week North Korea started launching missiles again.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck's going on? Like he makes good first impressions, I guess, but they don't last. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't uphold the deals they discuss.
Being fake. I don't know. Maybe they're just like trying to be,
or maybe he's just like doing it for PR purposes and like not, you know, it's not like a legit. And then once these like world leaders find out like his true colors and they get pissed and like fuck this.
Right.
I don't know, but yeah, he's had tons of meetings with the leader of China. I think his name's like Xi Jinping or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the trade war is back on. So
tell me what you understand about this Federal Reserve cut on the rates. Like, what do you understand so far?
Only thing I know is like I think it hasn't happened since 2008.
Yeah, that's 10 years ago, over 10 years.
Which was after the housing financial bubble.
That's right.
And the reason why the Fed does this is they only do this usually like in a down economy, which is fucking weird because our economy is like,
it's not down.
It's been like it's the best ever.
Yeah.
Unemployment's at historic lows.
Yeah.
Everyone's racking in fat bags, you know. Just not everyone, but
yeah.
It seems like on paper everything's Gucci, but for some reason, I don't know. And
what was it?
I don't know, dude. That's hard to understand what the Fed's like. I don't know. They have, it's like a secret.
They're flexing. That's what they're doing.
What do you mean?
They're flexing. They say, well, we're just going to do rate cuts right now.
You think so?
Well, for no reason, they're doing a rate cut.
But it's like everybody's anticipating a recession soon, right? Everybody's been sounding the alarm bell. Just, again, based off historical.
It's due.
It's due. Yeah, we're due for it. I mean, there's signs of his excuse. I think was for like global growth is slowing, not necessarily the United States.
Yeah,
but I think like the Federal Reserve, they're claiming they're just worried about the global landscape of the economy.
Yeah.
So I guess to kind of like, I don't know, keep America prosperous, they think they need to lower the interest rates.
Well, what do you think this interest rate's going to do to the price of Bitcoin?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's obviously spooked Wall Street because as soon as they announced all this shit, the stocks went down like crazy.
Yep.
And what happened? Gold went up because I'm paying attention to gold because I own it.
Yeah.
And I love it right now. I love being a gold owner right now, dude. I'm telling you.
Well, why your 5% gains? I don't understand. Why you?
Dude, what do you mean? It's a store of value, and it's going up. My fucking stored value has been increasing, man. If I had that money in stocks, I'd be getting killed right now.
No, that's true, for sure.
Actually, that's not true. Stocks have been going up pretty good, too.
Well, they've been going up for the past decade.
Yeah, stocks have been killing it, man.
Yeah.
And Trump is, like, latching on to he's claiming all responsibility for this monumental run-up.
Well, here's the thing. And so, obviously, Bitcoin is a global asset, right?
Yeah.
And the United States decides to cut these rates, and which means it's increasing the supply of the dollar. And so anytime you increase the supply of the dollar, the prices of everything goes up. Milk, bread, Bitcoin, gold, everything.
Yeah.
Just because the value of the dollar decreases and therefore things get more expensive, it's seemingly more expensive.
Yeah.
Because the value of the dollar just went down. And so, you were talking about the price of Bitcoin 2021, whatever it is, when it peaks after that parabolic run-up.
That's what everyone's kind of...
You were saying it was going to reach, let's say, 200K, 250.
Yeah, everyone's conservative these days, about 100K.
Yeah.
Whenever in 2017, nobody expected 20K. Everyone was thinking like 10, 12.
10 was the number just because of
that was a psychological... And again, we're doing the same... We're repeating history. Everyone's got that 100,000 barrier in their mind.
Yeah.
It's something about our brain chemistry. We just love that number.
Yeah.
1000.
Well, it's a log, right? You go from 10 to 100,000.
Yeah, that's probably why we program everything in ones and zeros, right?
Yeah.
We just really love ones and zeros, man. But so again, I think it'll bust right through that shit and probably hit like 200,000.
Well, that's why I bring it up is because now with these rate cuts, there's a chance it could be $200,000 Bitcoin.
Okay, but see, not just because of rate cuts, but you're saying what follows this or what?
Well, yeah, I mean, just because the value of the dollar goes down, I'm thinking it's not really going to be $100,000 Bitcoin at its peak. It could be $200,000. So
Okay.
now I'm sort of agreeing with you that it could actually be $200,000. It's
I
hard
don't-
for me to believe just because it's double of $100,000. I mean, that takes a lot of resources to do that. Right, monetary resources.
It's true. The amount of money that has to pour into the market
Yeah, exactly.
is going to be insane.
But not only that, once it reaches $100,000, I would think the pleb is going to be entering Bitcoin.
Oh fuck yeah!
And then everybody's going to be experts.
But that's what I don't know about that.
Well, that's what they think. It's like, look, I
Yeah,
got in at 110,000. And look at it, it's 120.
Yeah, it's true. But I don't think any of this shit matters as far as like rate cuts and stuff. Once we hit that 100,000 point, that's euphoric. That's the euphoria phase all over again. That alone is what's going to drive the price up to 200,000. It's going to be a global fucking like panic. I wouldn't call it panic. It's going to be like
It's like the opposite of an apocalypse.
Yeah, it's just fucking greed. Everyone's
yeah.
going to see like, holy shit. Like I remember like 5 years ago, Bitcoin was 20K and everyone was freaking out. You know,
Yeah.
I'm talking about like in 2021, they're all going to say this. And then, so it's FOMO. They're going to fucking FOMO again, just like they did in 2017. I
agree with you. I agree with you. I think,
and then at some point, the whales are going to just like dump their bags on everybody, like just like they always do.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think
I hope
we're going to see a level of FOMO that we haven't seen on any other asset.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's gonna be like, because everybody says like, not everybody. I watched that Peter Schiff debate.
oh yeah, I missed it. I should have.
Yeah, dude, we could probably make some like good snippets out of that. Like just like go over it and because the guy.
How long was it?
It was an hour.
Okay.
And he debated a guy that's pretty fucking. He sounded really smart, like a smart dude. I don't know what his history is, but
yeah,
he gave Peter Schiff some good arguments. But I think at the end of the day, Peter Schiff
is kind of leaning towards Bitcoin. He won't
No,
say
he
it.
even admitted like he was a total mistake that he didn't buy it when he fucking first heard about it. Like when it was $10.
Yeah.
But his contention is he thinks it's done. Like the bubble already happened, and it's never going to be above 20,000 again.
Yeah, but how many times have we heard that? I mean,
I know,
come on,
it's true.
Peter. You've been around since it was $10.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
He saw the whole fucking thing happen, dude.
Yeah.
He like refused to buy any of it just because he's so.
Yeah.
I love my gold. You know, when he bought like I think gold's maybe.
I'm sure he's.
I think it's gone. No, like in 2010 or 2000. When was Bitcoin made? 2009 or 2008?
Well, it was released in January 2009.
Okay. Well, my point is like
January
his gold
3rd.
holdings did nothing compared to what Bitcoin did. You know what I mean?
Well, for sure.
From that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be like getting into gold in the 1930s.
What do you mean?
Like,
like
getting
Bitcoin?
Yeah, getting into Bitcoin is like getting into gold in 1930s
Yeah.
because it had its own parabolic run up too.
Yeah. The thing he doesn't really understand, I feel like, is like, and the guy he was debating against didn't really emphasize that I think I would emphasize a little bit
Yeah.
to him because he's an older gentleman. You know, there's nothing wrong about that, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. He's from an older generation. He doesn't necessarily grasp the technological movement that's happening right now, as far as like we've talked about everything. Because he kept on bringing up the tangibility aspect over and over and over again.
Yeah, which is
like
silly.
something to us younger folk, you know, we don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, you know, we always talk about how Bitcoin has similar or better properties than gold, you know.
But you would think someone who is attracted for gold for what gold is, you would think that they would see what Bitcoin is and its similarities to gold and just at least buy $100 worth when it was $10.
Yeah, that's exactly what the dude told him. He's like, you know, how like you're kind of, without being so mean about it, like kind of like you're fucking retarded, just putting at least like 10% into Bitcoin, like when you did, you could have, you know, you would have been.
See, right now he would have $100,000. He would have converted.
Yeah, if you would have bought $10
$100
Bitcoins, you could have bought like. Dude, he's a wealthy man. He could have bought easily like 1,000 Bitcoins for like how much is $10? That's 10 grand.
Yeah,
that's nothing to him.
Yeah,
and he'd be like one of the richest men.
Yeah.
In the Bitcoin world, you know, with 1,000 BTC, he'd be chilling.
He'd be shilling BTC.
Exactly, he wouldn't be fighting it.
Yeah,
and that's his argument. The reason why.
But I don't know, man. I think this guy's hiding like 100 BTC somewhere.
Nah, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, dude. Because he's all in gold, man. That's why he's so against it.
Gold is so boring.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying, but I don't know. That debate was interesting. But yeah, he needed to grill in Peter Schiff's mind that the newer generation doesn't give so much fucks about like the physical realm. Like we're more in tune with virtual shit.
Yeah,
digital.
Yeah.
You know, like kids they spend their fucking, you know, all their money on digital clothes for their digital characters and shit, and they're wearing like rags. You know,
which I would even argue it's like that's weird. But
what do you mean?
To buy digital stuff for your character,
why is that weird?
Especially if it's not NFTs. If it was NFTs, I would understand.
Well, it's like because they spend the majority of their time playing these video games and stuff, right? So,
yeah, I mean, I understand that. But to spend money on a thing that's like vaporware, like it has no value. That's where I get caught up.
Yeah,
on.
but when you're a kid, you're not thinking about value or like ROI and shit like that. You know,
Yeah.
no kids out there like, man, am I gonna get a return on these $20?
Yeah.
No, dude. They just impulse buy. It's like Pokemon cards, you know. But actually, Pokemon, you would have gotten some ROI.
Value. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Some of these.
See, but remember, we were all collecting cards, right? Whether it was Pokemon or basketball cards, we knew that when we bought these cards, that it could be worth something in the future.
I'll be honest, I didn't even think about that when
really?
I was spending all my parents' money on Pokemon cards. I was going ham, dude. And yeah, I didn't give a fuck about the future. I just wanted to be that kid in the school who was like, check me out.
My Charizard.
Yeah, I actually did get a Charizard too, dude.
Yeah,
I opened up like a first edition.
You on a regular pack. You received a Charizard.
I got the golden Charizard that everybody wants today.
Yeah,
I got one, and I was retarded, dude. I got scammed by some douchebag. So my lack of like you again. I just told you I wasn't thinking about how the value of the card.
Yeah.
So when some dude came up to me and saw that I had this gold foil Charizard, he offered me 17 other holographics that he owned. Yeah. Pretty much his whole binder. He's like, I'll give you my whole binder for your Charizard. I was like, deal. And pretty much he gave me 17 worthless cards for this one card that's worth like 10 grand today.
Damn it, Iman.
Yeah, I fucked up, dude. I think that's one of my biggest regrets in life.
Yeah.
Not that I almost dropped out of college. I don't give a fuck about that.
So how old was he or anything like that? Like how?
Same age. We were in school, in elementary school, like 5th grade together. Yeah.
Dude, so he recognized that it was valuable.
Oh yeah, because dude,
man, how could you do that?
Fucking dumb, dude. My kid ended up selling dope and everything. Like she knows all about trade.
Yeah.
He understands.
Oh man. So what Pokemon cards do you have now?
Fucking trash. I have a binder of just I'm just gonna give them to my niece and nephew just to tear them to pieces. It's like a constant reminder of my failure. But yeah, I don't have the Charizard, and I don't even have where the fuck did all those 17 holographics go? I only have like 4 or 5 left. Like I don't know where they all went.
Dude, what the hell, man?
But again, I was a kid, man. Like I'm surprised I still have some of them lingering around. You know?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
See, when I was a kid, we had our cards like in binders and like little sleeves, and
yeah, me too.
And we still have them.
You still have them?
Yes.
Where the fuck is it? Is it here?
My brother has half. I have the other in a box.
What kind do you got? Anything?
It's just basketball cards. But yeah, man, I got a 1986 Michael Jordan rookie card. Yeah.
Isn't that worth like a shit ton of money?
Yeah, but I don't think this one is, just because it was
damaged.
Not it was damaged. I think it was like a reprint or something. But it still says 1986, so I just kept it, right? So I still have it.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video. Some dude he bought the packs. They're like $1,000 a pack on eBay.
Wow.
Bought like 3 of them in hopes that he would get that fucking Michael Jordan rookie card.
Yeah.
And he fucking got it in one of the 3 packs. Yeah.
Oh shit!
But I think he damaged it a little bit. Like he fucking opened it and he freaked out. I think he like
crushed it.
Yeah, a little bit. And then he went to get it graded. It was like an 8.
Oh,
8 out of 10. So it wasn't. If it's like a mint 10, you're good.
Yeah.
You know that actually counts. You have to get those cards graded.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
And that has a huge impact on it. Dude, that's so fucking ridiculous, man. Collectors are retarded.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get too much wealth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't know what to do with your money.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with cars and everything. It's just you just have too much money, so you just collect arbitrary bullshit that you really don't need.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a talking piece. I mean, if you show a Michael Jordan rookie card to somebody, they crack their
it's
pants.
cool. It's cool for like 30 seconds, and then you move on.
Yeah, then you move on. Yeah.
But I guess it's cool. People like to have nice, cool things, right?
Well, it's gonna be like that in NFTs, right?
That's true.
It's gonna be the exact same thing. It's like
gonna work.
I paid $1.5 million for this NFT car. It's
people are already doing that. Just because I think there's those people, they're speculating that because they're gonna be like that rookie card, like the first of its kind type shit. So in the future, 20, 30 years from now, if this whole NFT thing takes off, and
Right.
they're gonna be holding on to some super valuable treasures, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So going back to these,
And if anybody doesn't know what an NFT is, it's non-fungible token.
Yep.
Which essentially is like it's like a virtual asset, but
Yeah.
non-fungible
means like Bitcoin is fungible. It can you can have 1 Bitcoin or you can have 0.0001 Bitcoin.
Okay.
The fact that you can have a 0.001 Bitcoin, that means it's fungible.
Yeah.
And so non-fungible tokens is you have one of something and there is no point of something. So whenever, for example, you have a CryptoKitty, you have one CryptoKitty. You don't have half a CryptoKitty.
And there's only going to be that one CryptoKitty, right?
Yeah, there's just that one.
Yeah. It has a unique idea, I guess.
So it's sort of like it's a cryptocurrency that can't be broken down, right? There's only
or replicated.
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean that's what a cryptocurrency is. You can't duplicate it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a coin that you can't break into pieces like you can Ethereum and Bitcoin and so forth.
But the reason why that has more value than just say a regular Pokemon card is because it has real world value to it. Well, Pokemon card does too.
They're the same in terms of like rarity and value, but the fact that you can trade it electronically, you can send a CryptoKitty from United States to China.
I guess it's more like not forget Pokemon cards. It's more about video games, like all those cool items you earned in video games. Like, especially if you played WoW, World of Warcraft. There's like certain bosses in that game where you have to spend months to try, and it's based on luck too. That if you can luckily get these like a certain sword, you got it. You know, you get it, but it's not worth anything really, unless you sold your account to somebody on the black market, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But if you earn this NFT in, let's say, in a decentralized video game, then you can actually monetize your achievement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can use an NFT exchange to actually sell it, and somebody can take your NFT and port it into their game, or you can transfer that NFT, and if the developers of a new game support those NFTs, then you can showcase your sword on top of your car in this NFT car game. Yeah, which would be cool. I mean,
I can't wait to get into Decentraland, man.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
whoever's
that's
listening.
coming. That's
because,
coming.
Apparently, like lots of people are putting out like little snippets of there's a closed beta going on right now for Decentraland.
Yeah.
And it looks cool. Like visually, it looks like something that's interesting, but like you keep bringing up, there's just like nothing to do in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of builder stuff. And of course, they have some developers building these 3D models that look cool, that are unique.
Yeah, like there's cool. They have a museum.
Yeah.
That's already built and it's got like tons of like digital art, I would call it, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like an actual painting somebody did and then they.
Well, I'm sure they took a picture of the painting and they just.
Yeah. So it's like on the wall of this museum. So you can go in with your little character and like look around.
And I'm sure you can purchase it too. I mean, that's the idea.
That's what I have in my head.
Yeah.
It's like a display for artists to, you know.
Yeah, display their art across the globe.
Exactly. You don't have to go fucking there's probably like tons of awesome artists in New York City, but in order to go see their shit, you got to fucking fly over there.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, and it's probably really expensive. I don't know if they charge to get in or what.
I think part of the value of seeing art in person, it's the actual piece of art, right? In Decentraland, it's a PNG, right? A JPEG.
Yeah.
So you kind of lose the essence of
the
art. Yeah, absolutely. But nonetheless, I mean, as long as the merchants who are selling the art are honorable, you can still purchase that art there.
You don't think though that like in the future people will value more like digital art than physical art? Like let's say sculpting, like a Greek sculpture today, people revere.
Yeah,
These ancient sculptures, these like naked dudes with tiny wieners. People look at them and they're like, oh, I guess because it's hard to do, right? They
but the thing
chip
is,
away at it.
But the awe of it is its physical presence, not a picture of it.
Because that's what we were used to, physical reality. So I'm thinking in the future, if VR really takes off, and then like 3D artists create these like amazing. I mean, it's already like awe-inspiring when you go into like a beautiful video game and you see some like a virtual world that these artists put together and shit.
Well, for
So
sure.
I'm wondering if some like 3D guy makes just like this beautiful sculpture in a virtual setting, will it still have the same value as like these old art pieces sell for like millions sometimes?
It's tough. It's tough because that sculpture, that 3D art that this creator built,
Yeah.
it's tied to a key, right? There's a hash value of that creation that is unique. That's what makes that creation unique. And then you would have to, I guess, tie that into a private key that you can sell, and then that's the only creation that exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is where the value is that this virtual creation, it only exists in this unit only.
Yeah.
Right. That's where the value is. And I guess part of the value is who created it. What if it was like?
But I guess what I'm asking is like, will our perceptions change a little bit? Like, it depends.
I think it will. I think
Yeah.
I think it will. It's sort of like how kids today they're okay with spending $20 on a virtual shirt.
Exactly.
You know,
probably more of these. I think
it's probably more.
I play a game called Dota today, and I saw just the other day. It's like 2 swords for your character that you play.
Yeah.
$1,000.
2 swords for $1,000.
$1,000 to buy that, and that shit ain't worth nothing. I mean, you could resell it on the market, but
is there a market for those things? Like,
yeah, there's a
They have
marketplace.
an actual store that you can
It's
spend real USD dollars.
Yeah, it's a Steam market.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess like in Steam games, there's people buy and sell each other's gear, basically.
See, your market is other players. With NFTs, it's anyone on the planet that wants that NFT. Like, for example, the guy who bought that car for $1.5 million.
Yeah, F1 car.
He may not be playing video games.
No, I think whoever bought that is just a pure speculator. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And we don't even know how, or that guy doesn't even know like how that NFT is going to be incorporated into Decentraland or what. It's just right now. It's just somebody made like a drawing. I don't know if you want to pull it up or something.
Yeah.
See what it looks like. You're recording the screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's pull it up. This is like a good. If anybody doesn't understand what we're talking about with NFTs, because we talk about Decentraland a lot and stuff, which is a crypto project that aims to be, if anybody's seen that movie Ready Player One, like Decentraland is pretty much like the fucking alpha version of that world in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wow, what the fuck is that? I think you found the wrong thing, dude.
Next future transportation.
Yeah.
That's
different
not it.
NFT. Type in Formula One, F1 car, or just F1. Okay. Oh, shit. Yeah, that should be it. Whoa. So these are different types of cars, I guess. Yeah, see F1. These are all F1 cars. So who knows? Who knows if one day in Decentraland you'll be able to cruise down the street in these motherfuckers or what? Or they'll create like an awesome racing video game.
Right.
And you just own you know, because the first one that they made of this car sold for like $100,000 or something like that, $200,000. I don't know. It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, like it was something like that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
You know, and yeah, this is it. This is the exact car. All it is
$100,000
for that.
Yeah,
it's an image essentially, but it's a unique car on the blockchain, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like a CryptoKitty.
Exactly. So
and those were being sold for like tens of thousands of dollars.
So what's the difference between this and like I said, the Steam market? You know, if a video game, say like a racing game, is released on Steam,
so the world is smaller in Steam.
I think you're right. It's because it's unique, right? It's the only one.
Yeah, it's the only one, and I mean, you can use a block. You can be the sole owner of this.
And the reason why this couldn't be done in the past is because of
it's
because
not
verifiable.
Correct, and you can copy these virtual T-shirts. Right, you wouldn't be able to copy this because that's the whole point of cryptography. You can't make copies of it.
Yeah,
and so. I mean, that's why this is valuable, is because it's unique, right? Yeah. If you could just copy this, then
what video games today do? Like, because it has those $1,000 swords that I'm talking about.
You can buy,
but there's tons of them on the market.
Yeah, you can buy. You know, if you want to buy 10 of them, you can buy 10 of them.
So how come a video game company couldn't do that? Let me think.
Well, they could arbitrarily limit, like only one
Only
person
one.
could, but it's just limited within the game,
Yeah.
right? You couldn't. I, as a non-video game player, couldn't buy that dual sword.
But you could if you just log into the marketplace and buy it.
But I would have to log in, and then what am I going to do with it?
I don't know.
It's useless.
I think like these things have to be like cross-platform. Like whatever games they create in this decentralized universe, you got to be able to migrate this asset to different games and stuff. That's going to give it way more value.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But yeah, there's like a shit ton of stuff going on with NFTs that I don't know about. I see those tweets all the time, man. Like NFT stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, I want to make sure we go back to this and see if we've covered everything. So low interest rates. This is just showing that because of the low interest rates, investors are going to look into putting their money into Bitcoin, as they should.
Yeah, because we always talk about, right, gold and Bitcoin. Well, we finally agreed, like, gold and Bitcoin aren't enemies, you know?
No, they're not.
They fulfill pretty much the same purpose. It's like a...
Yeah.
It's when people in the traditional markets, like equities and stuff, they panic.
Yeah.
Because they think, like, shit's about to hit the fan. What do? They balance their portfolios out to mitigate risk. So traditionally, it's go to gold, which is showing gold has been going up. So people are, in my mind, I think that's like a warning. People are expecting something.
Yeah, a downturn
coming, right?
in the economy. Yeah,
exactly.
And for Bitcoin, I mean, as of January 2019, all the way through July, it's been the best performing asset.
Since when?
Since this year, just the last 8 months.
Like around May, right?
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's when a lot of like the trade war shit started happening, you know?
Yeah, that's
and
right.
there's always been speculation like the Fed's gonna, get kooky here pretty recently.
Yeah, and the whole fact that the Fed can print out money and Bitcoin has a max cap at 21 million, I mean, that's a dichotomy that you should kind of break down and understand that Bitcoin should be more valuable than any fiat currency out there just because of its nature.
Yeah, see, this whole Fed rate decrease thing maybe kind of think about the whole decentralized finance thing.
Yeah.
How it's relatable to, like, essentially the Fed is like make or DAO, right? It's the Fed's job to regulate the U.S. dollar. Like in times of crisis, like the Fed has to make the decision like, oh shit, we got to raise or lower interest rates to make sure the dollar doesn't crumble.
Yeah, because right now there's $22 trillion in debt, and imagine paying interest on $22 trillion.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they raise the ceiling a little bit. They introduce new money in circulation, therefore making it cheaper to pay the interest. Right? Because if you have $100,000 in interest that you have to pay, if you have cheaper dollars to pay that interest, that's better for you.
Yeah.
The only problem is your principal that you loaned out increases, but that's okay because the dollar is cheaper. And so they keep raising that until all of a sudden, people just decide is like, hey, we can't keep raising it because we just devalue the dollar and therefore it's no longer the world's reserve currency. There's better options out there at that point. And so that's sort of why the United States is competing and it's trying to stay the world reserve currency by doing these sorts of kind of manipulations. But the problem is that now that we have Bitcoin as an alternative, this is the first time that Bitcoin is going to see the repercussions of the U.S. dollar being devalued and therefore potentially have a $200,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, it should be positive, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's no way this is negative for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The only way you could see that is in a scenario where everyone's just panicking and just exiting everything. but
exit to what, though?
Yeah, exactly. If the dollar becomes less valuable. But the thing is, the dollar is what we use to purchase everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like Bitcoin is a supplement or a replacement for that dollar use case, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I could see people escaping to the Bitcoin for is...
Well, it's like a
store of value.
Store of value.
But traditionally, people only use like 5 to 10% of their net worth to store their value,
But
right?
think about this. If, let's say you have $1, right, and you put that dollar into Bitcoin, and then tomorrow that dollar gets valued by 50%, right? That means you have 50 cents. That dollar is now worth really 50 cents.
Yeah.
But you have that Bitcoin, And so essentially you've almost doubled your money just by keeping it in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And so then you would go buy your milk. Since they don't take Bitcoin, you convert that Bitcoin into dollars, and that's what you use to buy your milk.
Yeah, but dude, that's a hassle of a process.
It is.
Dude.
It is a hassle, but
sometimes you need.
there is no alternative, though.
Yeah.
And then think about this: once the dollar has runaway inflation, just like every other, well, some other fiat currencies right now, and in the future is going to be all fiat currencies. But let's say it has a runaway inflation, and Bitcoin's value is not $1 million; it's probably like $20 million per Bitcoin. Why so high? Is because all the fiat currencies that exist are so devalued that it takes that much fiat currency to buy a single Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And at that point, it would be useless to compare a Bitcoin versus a dollar or any other fiat currency. It would just be, it's just going to cost 20 Satoshis to buy your movie.
Or maybe not. You know, like we're obviously seeing a new trend of stable coins, like you're just taking
Oh,
off.
yeah, true.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like we've already talked about, Iran is pegging, or they're making a digital currency that's pegged to gold, and Iran is launching that. Obviously, Facebook's doing their Libra thing.
Yeah.
We just heard about Walmart is coming out with their own digital currency, and it's going to give like their customers like rewards, benefits, and discounts if you use their digital currency. So obviously, big corporations are they're looking at this digital currency thing, and they're like, "Holy shit! Like, this is way better than the dollar."
Yeah,
like
for sure.
We want to accept these stable coins because I don't know. I guess it gives them more control of customer behavior, maybe. I don't know.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, they could have more control, and they can have incentives. I mean, right now, if you go and buy something at any store, you use a credit card, right? The store has to spend 3.5% on that transaction. Yeah. So with crypto, they're not spending that 3.5%. They're barely spending 0.01%.
Exactly.
So that's where they want to go. That's why Walmart is pushing cryptocurrencies for their own benefit. They don't give a shit about anybody and sovereign currency and all that stuff. They don't
so
care.
it's gonna grant them back that 3%, essentially.
Which is huge. Yeah, which is huge. That's like 50% of their bottom line right there returned.
Yeah, it's true. That is not a high margin business at all.
Yeah, it's definitely not. And that's why Walmart's dominating, because first they're everywhere, and they've squeezed out all the profits that they can out of their out of the products that they have.
Mm-hmm.
But if you return them 3% on every single transaction, that's over 50% of their margin.
Yeah, that's actually pretty. That's important to think about for sure. It's obvious. So my thinking is governments are next, you know, because we're talking about $20 million Bitcoin and stuff, but we're not going to be spending Satoshis, dude.
Yeah.
I think we're going to, unless they call this.
No, for sure. All I'm saying is the only way to actually value something is going to be by how many Satoshis it is.
Oh, because there won't be a dollar value.
It won't be a dollar value because it's irrelevant. It's kind of obsolete. It's sort of like if you put how many bolivars does it take to buy a Bitcoin? It's like 1 trillion. Like, what's the point at that point?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What's that transition point gonna look like then? That's fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll see it, but we might.
I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. It sounds scary to me. I like being comfortable with these. I don't want no fucking economic collapse, man. Just to usher in this new digital age of currencies.
See, but
I feel like that's going to be required, though.
Well, it's okay if there's a collapse as long as you have Bitcoin. You know, because that shit is not going to collapse.
Dude, not everyone's going to have Bitcoin is what I'm saying. The majority of people won't, and then they're going to suffer.
That's true.
Yeah, us fucking nerds. We might get rich off this shit, but like we're still gonna hurt because everyone's hurting, right? And we go down with them.
Right.
You know, it's not good news.
That's
it's kind of like that scene. I don't know if you've seen The Big Short. It's like that scene where
I don't know if I've seen it.
No, it's one with Brad Pitt, and it's all about
I don't think I've seen it. I want to see it, though.
You got to, dude. All the shit you show me, you never watch anything I tell you to watch. God damn it! You watch that as soon as you can. Cause
how many times have you told me to watch The Big Short?
Like twice. But like twice. But it was a long time ago. But obviously you just blew it off. Like fuck it. It's probably retarded. It's a good fucking movie. If you want to understand the financial crisis, and there's another one called Margin Call, which I think is even better.
Yeah.
But it's kind of more like serious tone.
Sure.
Big Short is kind of like a comedy.
Yeah.
slash serious. But anyways, there's
I feel
a
like
scene.
I've seen it because it's so
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe like watch some clips.
Yeah.
Let's watch the clip of the scene I'm thinking of. Type in The Big Short and just type in The Big Short, and then I'll find the clip just off of the way it looks. Oh, you missed. I think it's okay. Scroll down. I'll tell you whenever I see it. Well, yeah, I'll tell you when I see it. Keep going down. Keep going down. Hold on. Stop. Keep scrolling down. Haven't seen it yet. Keep going down.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it. I don't recognize this.
You don't recognize any of
Nah.
this stuff? Yeah, you probably haven't then. Just keep going down. It's a good fucking movie. Where the fuck is the scene? Come on. Keep going down. Right there. Shorts turn on Wall Street, I think. Oh, fuck.
It's 8 minutes.
Once the industry leader, by the way, filed for bankruptcy, the company immediately.
Okay, no, this is the scene where like everything's starting to shit the fan or hit the fan.
Yeah, yeah.
But these guys, they're like a couple of young guys, and they shorted the market,
Yeah.
ahead of time, so they're gonna make a killing.
I'm gonna call my mom.
Fast forwarded though.
Principal
Yeah.
source of the
Let me
slowdown
see.
in economic
Keep going, all the way, keep going.
If I'm not gonna burn my reputation.
Never mind. It's
when you bought
before
lunch.
this shit. Like the scene I'm
Okay.
talking. Anyways, the scene. It's like they're celebrating. Like yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we got our deal because they got like the Brad Pitt character to get them like a $200 million whatever the fuck
yeah.
like access to short the market, and they're all celebrating. And then Brad Pitt's like hold on motherfuckers, like you realize what you just did? Like you're pretty much betting on like the collapse of our financial system.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, which is fucked up in a way, but.
Yeah, but that's part of the game, though.
I know it's part of the game, but when you think about it, it's like they're betting on just shit. I don't know.
An apocalypse, essentially.
Apocalypse, yeah. So in a way, if we're like crypto adopters, we're like, and we're in.
We're back. All right, guys. We had a little hiccup with the video again, but we're back, and we were just talking about not only the price of Bitcoin in our little break here, but we were talking about one thing that I wanted to show Iman, Compound. So Compound is a decentralized sort of savings account in a way where you can stake DAI and earn interest off that DAI. And if we go into the DeFi saver, which is one of the options that we have here, you can choose to stake DAI and gain, up to 15% interest on that DAI. And so this is important when after Bitcoin goes to, $100,000, $200,000 and you decide to exit, you want to put that money to work for you, right?
I don't think that really matters. It's good for anybody, right?
Well, yeah, it's good for anybody. If
Like-
you have a few $1,000s that you want to earn interest on, then you can.
Yeah. Let's
Use-
say like you say you believe in this whole crypto thing
Yeah.
and you like the space, but you're a little skeptical and scared of the volatility and shit, and this is a good alternative.
Yeah.
If you want to get involved with crypto, because you're essentially purchasing a cryptocurrency. No, you're not. Yeah, with the DAI you are. So you're converting your fiat
Right.
for DAI, which is a stable coin, which is pegged to Ethereum.
It's pegged to
Or
Ethereum.
it's not pegged to Ethereum. Yeah. It uses because DAI is what is associated with MakerDAO, right? That's what keeps the DAI stable.
Correct.
Is the collateralized
Collateralized
Ethereum
deposition. Yeah.
of Ethereum. So yeah, by purchasing DAI, you're just converting your dollars to a stable coin.
Yeah.
But that earns you interest. Which
Yeah,
is
and for
nice.
example, here's some examples of the interest. So you can stake basic attention token, DAI, Ether, Augur, and some of the other ones. But if you notice, the stable coins, DAI and USD coin, are the ones that give you the most interest back.
Yeah.
And so I was turned to this by Chico Crypto's video, and in his video he talked about 15%. But right now, DAI interest rates are 12.62% for supplying, and then to get a loan with DAI, it would cost you 17% APR, annual percentage rate.
Mm.
So if you do have a bunch of DAI laying around, if you put it into this decentralized financial system, then you can earn 12.62% annually on your DAI.
And this is through Compound?
This is through their Compound. This is Compound's interface, and so obviously we have other options here. We don't have to use Compound. We can use Zerion.
Let's say the Coinbase wallet. That's probably the most obvious one.
Well, this one you have to connect. You have to actually use the Coinbase wallet.
Holy shit! See, I've never even been here. What is all of that?
So remember, Coinbase. So Coinbase has two wallets or two apps. One is the common one that everyone uses to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And then there's the Coinbase wallet app where the app itself stores the private keys within your phone.
So whenever somebody downloads the Coinbase Exchange app,
it's different. That Exchange app, they're holding your private keys for you.
Yeah. So what is this again?
And so this is holding the private keys. You are the holder of the private keys.
Us or Coinbase?
This is us. This is Coinbase wallet. That's the name of the wallet.
Okay.
And so this is a separate download.
Yeah.
And so this app stores your private keys on the phone.
Okay.
So you have complete control. So in addition to storing the private keys within this app, they give you access to CryptoKitties and all the dApps that exist today that they support, of course.
Yeah.
And so one of them is...
So this is an alternative
Compound.
to storing your shit on the ledger.
Yes.
But it's
still risky because it's
riskier, ain't it?
It's riskier.
It's web-based.
Yeah.
So there's more points of attack in this sense.
But
you're trusting Coinbase, aren't you? In a sense,
you're trusting their coding ability
or their security protocols. Right?
Yeah.
And what if you store all this shit you could store on the Ledger Nano X? I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah, and you still have access to all the dApps with Ledger Nano X.
Because these are ERC20s, everything, right?
Yeah.
I believe. More than likely.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So you can use any of these options here. And it'll give you access to the same exact thing, 12%. And so Chico Crypto used DeFi Saver because just because you like the interface. But you have all these options, and I like this one just because it shows you quickly what the interest rates are, and it's 12.62%.
Okay, so click on DAI. What does that do?
So yeah, the price to store your DAI it is $1, but you get to stake at 12.62%.
Let's see, utilization, market liquidity. That's how much DAI is in circulation. 6 million.
6 million in Compound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Gotcha. Yeah, this is cool. It's a good alternative. You know, like you said, just putting your money in your bank account doesn't really do shit, right?
Yeah.
You're just you're giving the banks all the power to.
Yeah, because
money.
what the bank is doing with your money is they're loaning it out and they're making all the all the interest, right? And they're giving you nothing.
They're the ones making the 12% or whatever the fuck.
Exactly.
Loaning it out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like by eliminating the banks or the necessity for the banks.
Dude,
everything's automated through this decentralized platform, so it's like the money comes back to us.
Yeah, the financial system is built upon this very concept.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And the banks, this is how the banks make money.
Yeah.
And this decentralized app takes that completely away from the banks.
Yeah.
And restores, it gives us some money. Those who have the money and decide to put it into Compound, we make the interest.
Yeah, that's what crypto's all about. Like I keep saying FUBU.
Yeah.
For us, by us, is like without our participation in this decentralized application, you know, you're putting your own assets, your own money into it. And without that, this thing wouldn't exist because they would have no money to churn back out for loans.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
Correct.
But instead, you're not relying on a middleman, a banking establishment to facilitate all this. It's all smart contracts.
Yeah. And
which is fucking crazy.
Dude, and just like you were saying, in 2017, DAI did not exist.
Yeah.
You couldn't have done this with
if DAI existed, yeah, with all my, if I would have because I was scared to cash out, right?
Yeah.
Back then, the only way to cash out, you could have tethered out, but Tether is notoriously not a safe exit. But if this was around, yeah, I could have lived out the fucking interest of this thing. If I would just put all my crypto profits into DAI, but it wasn't around back then.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But see, this to me, like, it blows my mind because, dude, we have options. Like, I would seriously consider completely converting into crypto from fiat just because of this. Like, that thought has entered my mind, Iman.
Like, what do you mean? Like all your life savings?
Yeah, everything, 100% converted to crypto and use this as a savings account.
Yeah, convert it to this specifically.
Yeah.
So you can earn the interest in your money.
Yeah, correct.
So what are the risks? What's the downside? There has to be something.
The downside is, so this completely operates on smart contracts.
Okay.
And smart contracts are made by human beings. And what are human beings really good at doing?
Fucking shit up.
Exactly. So the thing is, Compound has gone through a bunch of like reviews on their smart contracts, and they've passed and everything. And so there's little chance that there's a vulnerability in the smart contract, but nonetheless there's a chance.
There's a chance, yeah.
And so there's also a way. There's another platform called Nexus Mutual that you can pay for an insurance on the money that you're putting into Compound.
So if you're like a little skeptical and scared that one day, like,
yeah,
the
there's
worst
a vulnerability.
case scenario is going to happen, because it happened before to Ethereum smart contracts, and tons of people lost money that way.
Yep.
To the point where they wanted to roll back the fucking blockchain or something like that.
And not only that, there was a huge fork between Ethereum, right? Ethereum Classic and now Ethereum.
So it's obviously like a reality and it's a possibility. So
yeah.
So I guess if you're skeptical, like say somebody who's like thinking like you, like, fuck, dude, why do I have these useless dollars that don't earn me shit? Like I'm just gonna convert them all to DAI.
Yeah.
So this is your
this is your alternative.
This is your white knight.
Yeah.
Nexus Mutual. When I heard about this is fucking crazy. I can't believe, dude, they're decentralizing everything, man. What's wrong with it?
Dude, this is what we've been asking for, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. Like, we can completely operate on a new financial system right now.
Yeah. The only issue is all this awesomeness is being built on like the slowest blockchain ever.
Yeah, but true.
One of them.
True.
That's the thing. Ethereum is like, it has the most insane developer community ever.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But it's unfortunate that it's going to take years for scalability to be solved, right?
Yeah. But the only trade-off with Ethereum is that you got to wait a little bit longer. Right? So with Coinbase, they gave you $20 worth of DAI if you do Coinbase Earn. And so I took those $20 and I deposited into Compound.
Yeah.
And so with 12% interest in the few hours that it's been in Compound, I've earned a 20th of a penny.
Damn.
With $20.
Rolling in it, dude. It's fucking crazy.
But had I put $2,000, I would have earned a penny in a few hours.
Yeah.
And so think about, how many days will it take to earn a couple of dollars, which is already a lot more money using Compound and earning interest using Compound than it is putting into a bank account, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would take me several years at 0.01%.
Yeah, it's
to earn $1.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like it doesn't exist. Like,
yeah.
Who really cares? Nobody's putting their money in their fucking bank account expecting to make a return.
Yeah.
Maybe like a money mutual savings account or something like that.
Well, see, and not only that, you're losing money by saving in your savings account.
Uh-huh.
You're losing money because of inflation, right?
Yeah.
There's 3% inflation.
Mm-hmm.
So even though your bank account is not going down, the value of it is going down. You just don't see it.
True. That's why it's not, not many people hold cash. It's not a good asset to hold. That's for sure.
True.
But this is cool.
See, it blows my mind because literally there's no need for banks as far as I can tell.
Yeah, that's the whole purpose of this whole crypto movement, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Satoshi had it, like, whenever he fucking created Bitcoin, there's a reason why this shit popped up like immediately after the financial bubble.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess this is humanity's or fucking some random alien or something who came down here to save us from ourselves.
Seriously.
That's what's so fucking weird about the timing of Satoshi's creation was so peculiar. It could have happened anytime, but it happened right after the financial crisis. So I think like it was the awakening moment. Like we're like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like our fucking whole monetary system is
Yeah, the thing is,
so fragile at any moment.
That person, that group of people, they must have been working on this for years, though.
And it wasn't just him.
Yeah, and it wasn't
he
just
worked
him.
off of like research and development from previous.
He stood on the shoulders of giants.
Exactly.
For sure.
He cracked the code and came out with
proof of work.
But that's just Bitcoin. But yeah, it sparked a movement, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the movement is, fuck centralized entities.
If there's
we can do it ourselves.
Yeah, if there's no Bitcoin, there's no Ethereum.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah. But it's like, again, the whole point of this whole thing is to, I guess, take the responsibility out of humans' hands and leave it up to the code.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's ultimately still up to humans, but it's not up to.
Is it though?
It's not up to centralized individuals who get to decide what they do with your money.
Yeah, because like right now, if you want a loan, you have to go to a bank and you have to apply, and they have to evaluate you. Yeah, they have to evaluate you on an individual basis and like determine how fucking wild you are with your money. And
yeah, and with loans, you have to put something up for collateral. Right? If it's not a house, it's a car. If it's not a car, it's your reputation, your credit score.
Yep.
And so something's always at stake, and it's the same with crypto. When you need a loan for crypto, you need to put up 150% collateral. So if you want to borrow 1 Ethereum, you have to stake 1.5 Ethereum. And if you fail to pay back that loan, your 1.5 Ethereum is gone.
Mm.
And so, I mean, for now, that's the only way to do it. Eventually, once you tokenize a house and tokenize cars and tokenize assets, then you'll be able to stake those too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, all this falls in line with, securitizing assets and everything, man. Everything will be digital and exchangeable, and it'll all be on blockchain. That's what it all... I think the show's over, dude. We just came to the conclusion. Fucking blockchain, dude.
Yeah, dude.
we just read that the fucking Department of Defense is going to use blockchain to secure their communication lines.
Oh, right,
What the fuck? The applications never end.
Yeah, and Department of Communications, I mean, there's no need for them to use blockchain.
Who?
Department of Defense.
Yeah.
So, but why would they need to do that?
So they don't get listened in on, I guess. They don't get hacked.
Yeah, but blockchain is it's a public ledger.
I don't know how the fuck they're going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but they're looking into it. Blockchain's all about security, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's one aspect of it. But
that's like the big thing.
There's built-in aspects of blockchain, right? Like immutability, there's transparency, there's, things like that is inherent in blockchain. Now you can design it differently, of course, but I mean, that's the inherent benefits of blockchain, is that you don't have to depend on anybody. Now, Department of Defense, that kind of use case, we'll have to see what they end up doing with it, but it seems a little weird.
Not to me. I mean, just because communication, what they're using now is just the internet, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
To communicate.
It's with encryption
yeah, so...
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to sit here and try to think what they're thinking. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They haven't paid me a penny to come up with some solution.
And so
I wouldn't be able to do it anyways if they paid me. I'm just saying. It's too hard to think of. But the headline was there, so I read it.
Yeah.
And I regurgitated it on this podcast.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah. And so another thing that Chico Crypto brought up was this another thing called pulltogether.us. And it allows you to pull your DAI in a group of people. You get to purchase these tickets. And these tickets are I guess collected and put together into this pool, and that collection of DAI gets staked in Compound, and that collection of DAI ends up earning a lot of interest with a larger amount of money, right? If you only have $100, it's better to pool that $100 with other people's money to earn interest than it is to just put the $100 in your own Compound account.
Mm-hmm.
So, but here, there's only one person out of this pool that gets to win the interest from the entire pool. The cool thing is that once you stake your $100, and you don't win, you get 100% of your principal back.
Yeah, so it's riskless.
It
says it right there.
Yep. This is a no-loss lottery.
Hey, did you resume the screen recording, by the way?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I was just wondering, so people can see this.
Yeah.
So yeah, essentially, it's like right now the prize pool looks pretty puny, but that's because there's not that many people participating yet. But
Yeah.
I see the point. It's because the dye ecosystem needs as much dye as it can get, right?
Yeah.
So this is like an incentive structure for people to put dye into Compound, right? This is made by Compound.
No, I think they're using. So Compound is a protocol. So this company, whoever this group of people are, pulled together. They're using Compound's protocol to stake the dye.
Correct. So, but yeah, by them collecting people's dye is increasing Compound's liquidity,
Yes.
which is good.
Yes.
Huh. And then they get a nice little cut for doing that.
Yeah, I'm
It's
sure.
like a nice little third-party source for Compound.
Yeah.
Like you said, who the fuck, if I have like $20, like why go through all the hassle to do this Compound thing to earn pennies?
Exactly. But if you put it into a pool together, you might have a chance to win $255.
Which right now,
plus your $20.
In the future, that could be $255,000. Who knows?
That's true.
If there's millions of people contributing dyes to this pool.
Yeah.
So that's cool. It's a great concept.
Yeah.
It'll work. I'm certain. There's only been like 3 pools, and it's going up. It started at 20 cents. Now the next one was $195.
$355.
$350. Now this one still has 15 days left. I bet you'll hit 1,000.
You think so?
Oh yeah, for sure. In 15 days? Fuck yeah.
Well, yeah, it just
and you got
depends
people
on
like
how much
Chico
money.
Crypto shilling it and shit now. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, it is gonna go up.
It's going to go up. So that's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
So this is all decentralized financing. So,
dude, this is like, I don't know why this is so fascinating to me. Like, I'm just like blown away with all this stuff.
Yeah, man. This is all new shit. That's why.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the world?
Well, not only
Fucking
that,
nothing.
we can participate. This is shit that banks are doing already, that they've been doing on their own. But now you and I can do it too.
Yeah. Again, yeah. It puts us back in control.
Yep.
Fucking bankers, dude. I don't know.
All right,
I don't know if I could hate on bankers, dude. Like I said, they do good service on the ground level. Like without them, you know.
Yeah, without them we wouldn't have.
Oh shit! What a dumpity, little one. I don't know, but yeah, this sounds great. It sounds like good developments.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, this is
whether
like,
or not it'll get wide stream adoption.
Oh, dude, it will, man.
Yeah.
It's just people don't know about it yet.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like it's like early internet, man.
Yeah,
exactly. You keep correlating that shit. It's like nobody knew what a fucking web browser was like in like 1996 or whatever.
Yeah.
But they didn't realize how revolutionary and important it was. And then once people find out these dApps, decentralized finance apps, you know, especially for people who need loans, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is great shit for again, the unbanked. This is huge. You know?
For sure. Yeah, all you need is an app to do this. Like,
crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like people, yeah, man. People in like third world countries and shit, like Venezuela. It's a no-brainer.
But yeah,
you
man,
gotta jump in this crypto wave.
This got me thinking of jumping ship from fiat to crypto. 100%.
You won't do it, Will. You don't have the balls. Prove me wrong, dude.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, let's see how long this $20 takes me in dye.
What do you mean?
In dye in Compound. Because right now I put $20 in Compound. So I want to give it a couple of days to see how much interest I get, and just to as a scientific experiment.
Nice. Always a man of science. I appreciate that in you. But
yeah, I think that covers everything we wanted to go over today.
Yeah, unless you want to go back and watch some more Big Short clips. We didn't even get to do that. The camera fucking cut me off.
Oh yeah, it did.
But I think you got the gist.
Yeah,
I explained what I wanted to show you.
I wanna see that movie because it looks interesting.
It's a good movie.
I mean, it's like what was that movie with the Even Stevens guy? What's it called?
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
I think.
I thought that movie was entertaining.
I never actually
It's escaping me. But
I've seen the one with Charlie Sheen from like the 1980s.
What is that one?
It's called Wall Street. It was the original Wall Street.
Yeah.
Charlie
Okay.
Sheen. It was a good fucking movie. And then they just, I don't know if it was like a sequel, I think. Was it Charlie Sheen? No, the other guy was. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Well, in Wall Street, the newer movie, I mean, they're talking about some collapse itself too. So
really,
yeah.
Well, it's probably based on that then.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But watch Big Short, watch Margin Call.
Well,
Anybody listening, if you want to understand like the financial collapse better, like what happened in 2008 leading up to it, and what's happened, it was the spark that we just talked about. It created this whole movement in decentralized finance. And want to know why people are working on this shit?
Yeah.
Watch that movie.
That reminds me, something that I thought of. There's going to be a movie about Satoshi Nakamoto.
How could you make a movie? There's nothing on him.
Well, think about this movement that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah.
That some people know about and others are just oblivious of.
Yeah.
Once decentralized finance really becomes like a staple in the financial sector, like this is total movie material. Like freaking
essentially,
banks
isn't that what
panicking?
I haven't seen the rest of that show, but Mr. Robot is kind of like the premise, right?
Yeah, but it's sort
like,
of restoring. It's eliminating the debt from everybody, which is essentially the same thing, right?
I mean, if you clear out the current financial system, then they will no longer hold debt.
Yeah.
If we no longer need them,
So everybody's unchained from their shackles.
But hold on a second. Yeah, like what's gonna happen, man?
So when someone's in debt, it's sort of like slavery.
Well, yeah, because
you
your
have
life's
to-
purpose now is to pay off that debt,
Pay off that debt,
or
and
else
go to work.
your assets get seized.
Correct.
Yeah,
And so in Mr. Robot, since everybody is in debt, they showed one example. One of the girls there, she had like $200,000 worth of student loan debt.
yeah.
And so she's a definite slave in the system.
Yeah.
And so if you completely remove that, she might go find something else to do, something where she doesn't feel oppressed to do just to pay back the loan.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's sort of the premise. Like people are working to pay off their debts. They're being manipulated essentially.
I don't know if we fault the banks for this or it's our fault.
Well, yeah,
You know?
that's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, the banks, they laid out the infrastructure just like these crypto guys are laying out for the infrastructure. Human psychology, they say we wipe out traditional banking and then all we have left is decentralized banking finance.
Yeah, but the thing is,
same thing's going to happen all over again.
We've been
dude.
groomed to get out these loans.
Yeah.
Go to school, get that degree.
Yeah.
What they're saying is go to school, get that debt so that, you become another cog in the wheel.
Yeah.
And so that's it. It has an effect on the mind where you think you have to get a degree, and
Well, fucking
reality-
our whole childhood, they
in
beat
reality,
that shit in our brains.
degrees are not as useful as they used to be.
I haven't used it. I
Yeah.
never earned a penny from my degree, and I spent like $50,000 on it. So
Do you still have student loans?
fuck yeah, I saw
Yeah.
student loans. God damn. Shit. I wish that. Yeah, man. I'm really banking on like liberals winning one day.
Yeah,
Just fucking wiping my student loan debt. Because what you just said, a lot of people in our generation are enslaved to that. They're not buying houses anymore
Yeah.
because our whole life's mission is paying off this education that we paid so much for.
Yeah. Millennials are
Overpaid.
staying with their parents a lot longer.
Yeah.
I mean, way longer than they
Yeah,
used
and then
to.
like boomers are like fucking trash talking our generation, like you fucking losers. I moved out when I was 18.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. I paid for my fucking $10 college education myself. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
right.
come on. You guys are the fucks who like raised the price on us nonstop and
Yeah.
like profited off our education.
Yeah.
That's just gonna end soon. It has to, man, because at some point people are gonna realize. I think employers will education doesn't mean shit, man. What matters is like what you're actually good at, like
Yeah.
your skills, your
Yeah.
skill set, your.
And it takes a long time to understand what you like. I mean,
Exactly.
in college, you don't know anything more than what you did in high school. Like there's no experience to say, hey, I want to learn more about financial, transactions
Yeah.
or, doing anything in the engineering field. Like you just don't know like what real life is like.
Exactly.
And
Most likely you're guided by like your parents and shit.
yeah.
Like they're like the most influential adults in your life growing up. So
Yeah, typically if your parents aren't engineers, you end up becoming an engineer.
yeah, if your parents are a cop, you're gonna become a cop
Exactly.
or a firefighter, shit like that. Usually we stick to the family lineage, most likely, because again, it's like the best influence.
And that might not end up fitting with your actual like profile. You may not want to be a cop, but you start doing the cop thing.
Exactly. It's just it's you've conditioned it to become one in a way, like involuntarily.
Yeah,
I know tons of people like that.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
my older brother, he does exactly what my dad does. You know.
Yeah.
They work in trains and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, you and your dad, engineer.
Yeah, engineers.
If you don't have a dad, then you're fucking lost. You gotta just figure it out on your own. You know, you didn't have that model growing up and shit.
Yeah.
So that's a problem in a little way. But in a way, it's freeing. Like you said,
Steve Jobs,
find your own way.
Yeah, Steve Jobs was adopted.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's one motherfucker. You know, he became a hippie and like found his own way.
he did.
Went out and explored. That's something I always advocate, man. Like I always say, like if the opportunity ever comes up where like I meet like some 16 or 17-year-old kid who's about to graduate high school, whatever the fuck. Like what piece of advice can I give him that like will help him for the rest of his life?
Buy Bitcoin.
Well, besides that, the big one is, like find yourself first before making, especially college. That's like the biggest financial decision besides buying a house you're gonna make.
Yeah, and that's such a hard thing to do because you're telling them find yourself. Well, what the hell does that mean?
It sounds so faggy and cliche, right?
Well, what I would say to the 16-year-old right now is go experience as much as you can, and don't consider school to be like the ultimate existence of right now.
Yeah, you don't feel like a loser if you're like out there, like working minimum wage jobs, like just hopping from job to job to job. That's just a good thing. Man. Experience, just because everyone else is in college and they have this thought in their head, like, dude, I'm gonna be raking it in.
I'm gonna be an engineer.
Yeah, or I'm gonna be a fucking doctor. It's like, dude, more than likely he's not gonna fucking even graduate.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just wasting money.
I remember when I started my engineering degree, we started with like 1,500 other engineers, like day one, 1,500 or 2,000, I forget the number.
Yeah.
But when I graduated,
like
I graduated with like 11 other engineers.
11? Holy shit!
Like
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
biology wasn't that extreme. I think everybody majored in biology. I remember like the orientation. They told us that straight up. It's like, look, there's like thousands of you fuckers here want to be biology majors, but like maybe like 10% will make it to the very end. Something like that. 15%. You know,
I don't know what it is, man.
Well, again,
we were misguided. That's for sure.
It's because our parents didn't know any better.
And plus, the world changed pretty quickly, so it's not their fault, right? We're not blaming anybody.
No.
But we have to recognize that degrees are not as valuable. Maybe if instead of a $4,000 tuition here at least in Houston, Texas, on average, $4,000 tuition for 3 or 4 classes per semester. If that $4,000 ended up being $1,000, then you start being more reasonable, right? Maybe the engineering degree is not as useless as it is.
Yeah. There needs to be like more influence on, now I'm talking politics, but like thinking about it, give like transitioning kids into adulthood like more options other than just education. Like what's wrong with, instead of getting a $40,000-$50,000 loan for education, why not have the government option to get that loan to start a business or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Become an entrepreneur. You see, I always said if I had the $50,000 I spent on learning shit from a book, that I really honestly wasn't, like I said, I never discovered what I was good at. So I just picked a major and just followed through. And I never had the thought in my head like, shit, dude, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I just did it because it was expected of me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if I had that same access to $50,000 loan to start a business, doesn't matter what, maybe I would take a year or 2 to figure out what I want to do. But that would have been a much more life enriching experience.
For sure. Yeah.
Even if it failed, even if I went bust after like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, the only way to learn business is if you just start one.
Yeah, you just gotta try it.
That's
the only way. You gotta experience
it.
You gotta deal with the people. You gotta go out there and hustle and figure out how to manage everything. Instead of like reading about inventory management, you actually do it yourself.
Yeah.
You figure out all the software programs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's the way to do it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, education is good, but it has to be the right kind of education.
That's true. I mean, like if your mind is set up to be an engineer, I think you have to go.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. You have to go through that training, and really school, for the value that I got from school is the discipline that it forced me to, sit down and study.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you you're not going to graduate if you just, fuck off.
Yeah, if you don't have that ability to focus,
Yeah.
yeah, and stay on task and like set goals
Yeah.
and actually achieve them, and like don't deviate. You learn that, I guess, in school a little bit, or I don't know if you learn it, but it reinforces that ability for sure.
I mean, you see me like, all the stuff that we're doing for the podcast. I didn't know how to edit audio, video,
Yeah,
all this stuff. But I was disciplined enough to sit down and like figure it out, and then we just fucking do it.
yeah,
Like that's all it takes.
for sure.
It's not like rockets. We're not performing brain surgery like Elon over there.
Mm-mm. But even him, he probably taught himself all
Exactly.
that shit. Yeah.
He taught himself everything.
Everything,
Rockets,
yeah. He
brain.
didn't learn how to
brain
make a
interfaces.
he didn't learn how to make an electric car in college.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But he's got that entrepreneur mindset. Like he's always thinking of that next big idea.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, like you said, education's not bad, but fuck.
The education we got is bad.
Oh yeah. Well, there's that, but the expectation like that, everyone has to follow that same singular path, man. That's not good. People aren't all the same. Not everyone's meant for that life.
Well, now that the financial system is changing before our eyes, obviously. I mean, all we do is look at charts now. But now that it's changing, I think the last thing that's going to change is going to be the education system.
Yeah, man, that's what I always hone back to. I'm always like thinking like, what's still stuck in the Stone Ages?
Yeah.
Finance was one. And then, I always go back to education, man.
I think, that's going to be the last thing that changes it. The last kind of leaf that turns over in terms of like 20th century kind of ideologies to the 21st century.
Yeah.
That'll be the last one. And I thought the banking infrastructure would be the last one just because we're so dependent on it, kind of like we're dependent on oil. But it turns out, thank you, Satoshi, for changing that.
Yeah, there's got to be a way we can incorporate crypto with education because crypto is all about incentivizing.
Yeah, it's a game theory.
Yeah. And like the biggest problem with education or like with educating children is creating that incentive for them to want to learn.
Yeah.
That's a bitch.
Yeah, it's like I could teach you how to do derivatives, but if you're not asking me the question on, hey, I need to do a derivative to get this volume of a curve, then, I can teach you all day, but you're not going to understand it.
Yeah, like again, with all this shit we talk about with VR, accruing like digital currencies, there's got to be a way we can, like, kids accrue tokens or something like that the more they learn. So that at some point in their life, they can cash out in these tokens and they got a bunch of money, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
There's got to be some type of way to influence that, to incentivize kids to want to learn. It's got to be it's got to be monetary wise too. It's got to be money involved. Other than, I guess in today's structure, it's the promise of the more educated you get, the hope and promise that it's going to lead you to a good career.
True.
Which is not a guarantee, but it's a hope and promise.
But with crypto, we do have to think outside the box. Like, for example, a basic attention token. You if you opt to watch ads or view ads, they pay you in BATs.
Exactly. So it's like maybe the same thing can be applied to kids. If you opt to do your homework, you opt to get A's in your tests, you're gonna get some basic learning token.
Yes.
And then over your course of your whole education, you graduate, you're
positive.
valedictorian, you're fucking rich.
Yeah, you're net
and
positive.
Then all the kids are gonna see that and be like, "Holy shit! All I gotta do is learn, and I can graduate, and I can buy a Lambo or something." Fuck yeah, I'm gonna fucking start studying.
Dude, that's brilliant, man.
Right?
Hell yeah, dude.
I don't know how, but there's got to be a way to incentivize, because crypto or Bitcoin was created to incentivize people to create the network.
Yeah, maybe industries that need a lot of help. Let's say like cancer research or just engineering industries or anything that needs the incentive to have more people look into a particular technology or industry.
Yeah,
they provide the money to incentivize the students to learn that industry.
You mean like Google? Let's say like
Google, and maybe they need some help from like a new perspective on AI engineering. So these students who are incentivized to learn about artificial intelligence early on, they get paid to learn that stuff.
Yeah, like the more you learn and the more you prove that you're advancing and learning.
Yeah, the more you get paid and BLTs, basic learning tokens.
Whatever the fuck
Yeah.
we come up with. Yeah. I don't know. This guy, yeah. And then I guess, so what does Google reward for that? For financing the education, essentially?
Well, they reward, like, they
The reward
get
is
to
they
hire
get,
these
they get
guys.
like talented as fuck.
Exactly.
They get brilliant people.
Yeah.
Because the reason why they're so fucking smart now is because they were properly incentivized.
Yeah.
You know, there's kids out there that understand that. Like I said, it's
It's-
probably from proper parental guidance.
Dude, we see it all already today. It's called gamification. If you gamify something,
Yeah.
if you make a learning into a game,
Yeah.
the person who's learning ends up performing better because it's sort of like a game. You want to win the game.
Exactly. It's
And so
competition.
You level up, right?
Yeah.
It's like any RPG game.
But that's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they incorporate stuff like that. They do, like, you know, stars and stickers and shit. Like,
Yeah.
they make you feel good,
Yeah.
but nothing's better than money.
Yeah, for sure.
And the beauty of cryptocurrency is
it is money.
it works.
Yeah.
It facilitates. It's a proper incentive to make people do certain things. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, but there's also I think there's a research done on how money and earning money affects the ability to process like problems in the real world. So, for example, people perform a task that is mundane, that is sort of repetitive,
Yeah.
and if you incentivize that repetitive task with money, they perform that task a lot better.
Oh fuck yeah.
But if you incentivize a task that requires actual critical thinking with money, they perform a lot worse. So there's that thing. You have to balance the difference between a repetitive task versus a critical thinking task.
Like a critical thinking task, such as like programming.
Like an open-ended problem or like programming.
Programming is
Yeah.
like problem solving. That's what I
Yeah,
always
problem
hear.
solving with,
Code.
there's no correct answer. It's just
Yeah.
one way is better than the other.
Why would more money negatively influence that?
Well, because it has a psychological effect on the brain. It puts that cortisol or it puts that pressure on the brain
Maybe-
where it
yeah.
can't properly operate.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I'll show you that research that they've done.
Okay.
It's like an old understanding, like
Yeah, a lot of psychology is from like back in the day.
Yeah.
Like a lot of what we understand about human psychology is from like the 60s and 70s.
yeah.
I
So
don't
the
know
point
why.
here is that money doesn't really properly incentivizes certain tasks that humans are required to do.
Yeah, I would like to hear about that. I always think like money's the motivator for everything.
Yeah.
Money and sex.
Yeah.
In a way. There's nothing more powerful than those two,
Yeah.
you know, as far as motivating forces in our lives.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, it directly affects the dopamine levels. So,
Exactly. But yeah, it's maybe like
but think about it. If you get paid a ton of money on something, first you don't want to do, and second, it requires a lot of thinking, and you have to like solve like an open-ended problem. More money doesn't really help you solve that problem, right? It just creates a lot of pressure, which this affects your performance.
So you're saying more money wouldn't help kids?
Well, so there's a chance that it won't help. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting.
But that's something that we can't really know until we put into practice. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
scientific method.
Exactly. You would want like maybe like just like a small district
Test.
or something like
Yeah.
that. Just apply it to a district of kids.
A test group.
Yeah, exactly. And let's see what happens and compare them to
Yeah.
traditional education system and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. That was just thoughts spilling out of my brain.
Yeah. No, that was good. But
Yes.
yeah, that's let's call it for now. Thank you guys for listening. So we have a couple of things, a couple of updates on the website. There's a Discord link. There's a Telegram link. Obviously YouTube. What else?
Twitter,
of course. So yeah, reach out to us and so I want to thank Chico Crypto for introducing me at least to the DeFi ecosystem that has blown my mind and has really put the thought in my mind of switching from fiat to crypto completely. Which, if something goes wrong, I'm going after him. So
be ready, Chico. But oh yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. God damn it!
Oh yeah, please.
Don't be. Oh, wait, you gotta edit that out. It's 2019. I can't say stuff like
You
that. Don't be a period bear, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck. That's what this is apparently. It's supposed to help you with your menstrual cramps. I don't understand.
Yeah.
That's another world.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But yeah, no, I appreciate it. And eventually we're going to be doing these conversations live on Mixer or Twitch or whatever, YouTube Live.
hopefully next week, right?
Yeah,
I
hopefully
mean, we
next
got the
week.
streaming software figured out.
Yeah.
The camera still has a few issues here and there.
Yeah.
We got to figure out battery and whatnot.
Damn, man, everything's an issue.
I know. Like, nothing's easy. Like, for reals.
So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for listening.
Deuce.